Squan in, peeps. What's squan in? It's Valerie here, and I'm doing a budget check-in. And what's changed with this? Electronically, nothing really has changed any big, so I'm not going to be making anything drastic. The only thing that has changed with this, and this is going to be very short and sweet and to the point, or maybe not, I don't know, is that I had to take out £100 out of my emergency fund. As you can see, it was at the 900. It was at the 900, but I had to take out £100. And because I don't know if you've been keeping up with the saga with National Grid, okay, but they offered shares for every, I think it was, I can't, I think it was for every 24 shares you had, you was offered a certain amount of shares, and the extra shares they were giving me was £13 for 83 something. So instead of taking out the 83 something out of my emergency fund, I took out a whole £100, okay, and paid for those shares. So that's the only thing that's really changed with that. This is what my budget is looking like. It's still zero based by minus 4p. I did all that I needed to do with this. That's the only thing that's really changed. What will change in the future is it's my granddaughter's birthday is coming up, so I'm going to take £100 out of that and pass that over to her. So that will bring that budget down for next time, I believe. But I'm not doing these every week because nothing much changes with me. Do you know? I made a big hoo ha with the shopping budget, and that was a mistake. So I actually did overspend with that, but I took it out from elsewhere and kind of balanced that out. So it's good that you can be flexible because these are not static. These things are not static. You can move them around to suit you. So, for example, if I was short of cash and I wanted to do something, and I knew that there was something in the budget, like the travel budget, which is £20, I haven't used it as yet. I haven't used it. So it's kind of like that's sitting there. And will I use it by the time I get to the next pay period, as I call it? I don't know. I don't think so. I'm going away this week, but and that whatever I've got left, because where I live in Blackpool, you can download the app and it's 2p per two £2 per journey wherever you go. It could be the shortest journey, it could be the longest journey. It's going to cost you no more than £2. It's just a £2 journey, single fare. Okay, but what I do is I download it into the app, so you just do it electronically when you get on the bus. You have to pay extra to get on the trams, and some further good news with that as well, as now they're doing the trams straight from the station, Blackpool North, whereas they didn't used to. It's a new service, so I'd be interested to do that as well. So that would be really good to go from the station anywhere you want to go along the seafront is fantastic. Do you know there's different stops all the way to Fleetwood? If you do with Fleetwood, it's like an hour from the Blackpool main. And then there's Stargate, which is half an hour from the Blackpool main. So Stargate is where the biggest shopping centre is in Blackpool. And there is another one I want to explore, but I'm waiting for my girlfriends to come down and we're going to go and explore another shopping. It's not a shopping retail park, it's an outlet in Fleetwood. So I'm going to test that out next time my girlfriends come down. But anyway, I say all that to say I would take out that budget and use it elsewhere, zero it out, and put it where I was going to put it. And then in my physical written, you will see exactly what's going on, and that's what I'm going to do next because I keep forgetting to do that. But I call them check-ins. This is a check-in. It's not a long check-in. It's just a check-in to just let you know what's going on with my budget. I'm trying to keep on track. But the one big decision I've got to make is the credit card debt. Do you see the ones in red? Do you see the red situation here? That red situation is really doing my head in because, and I'll tell you why. Do I, for the next pay period, don't invest, don't do the savings, okay? The ones in yellow, as you can see from my little key, the ones in yellow are automated. There's nothing I do about those. They're automated, they will come out regardless. Okay, and it's a form of saving, but not so much with the holiday fund. With the credit union, it's staying there, okay? But for next pay period, do I not invest in these and just carry on with the £100? Or do I just pay it off? and throw everything at it. So take out the investment in savings. I'm going to keep the food the same at £100, even though that's below my budget. I used to do 160, but I'm trying to cut that down because a lot of it is I have to be more careful because I the crisps are my nemesis. So I'm doing that. Everything else, even the birthday and the Xmas, I've actually downgraded because I used to pay for. As you can see next to it, it says birthday £40, but I've been doing 20 because I want to clear this debt. So I've already paid for it. This is the first month, and I've paid £400. So I threw some money at it. Okay, so it's down there. But the second thing, right, I'm questioning whether I should just pay off and start the emergency fund again, is because the card that I use, the company are actually raising the rates. And it's only when it said 2.8% per month, right? But I didn't realize when they sent me that statement to say they're raising the rates, I didn't realize I was paying something like 37% on that card, whereas I have on two credit cards. The other card, which is zeroed out, because they were both zeroed out, but I thought as an emergency I use my card. But what I should have done was be patient, buy the one thing that I needed, and pay for everything as I go. It would have cost me zero interest then. But what I've done is use my credit card, and I shouldn't have done. So what I'm going to do is I think I'm seriously thinking about using my emergency fund because that's what emergency funds are for. If it can save me money, it will save me money. So I could wipe out that debt come next month, but I'd leave myself with zero emergency money. So I'd have to start again, but it's automated anyway. Oh, dilemmas. What do I do, people? What would you do? What would you do? Please let me know in the comments. Please let me know, okay? But this is digital, my digital budgeting, zero budgeting. So everything, nothing's changed. It's just that's it. So very short, sweet, to the point. The only thing that's changed is that I took £100 out of my emergency fund because some people will say I will just go to my main savings. No, this is not the point to budget in. The point to budget is that you stay within your means, and if you have budgets within your means that you can use them. Don't go dipping into, because you could be messing with your compounding. For example, you've got a savings account and you can go to that savings account to actually cover things. But if you did that for every single thing you did, would you be A, making any money, B, taking advantage of compound interest? The savings is going into that main account. Okay, so I'm a bit loath to actually do anything about that next month, and I'm thinking rather than do that, do I just fling the £800 at this debt and start again, or do I plod on? Because I'm looking at the interest rate, and the interest rate goes up at the end of July. So I could. I think I'm talking myself into it, aren't I? Don't listen to me, people. Don't listen to me. But anyway, it's just those dilemmas. I mean, I know it sounds a bit boring to some, but budgeting is all about so that you can save for certain things, so that you can keep. I see it as a way of staying beneath my means, okay? And although I'm not showing you my expenses, and I doubt if I ever will, the sinking funds is money that is left after I've actually paid my bills. So all my bills, that's the first thing you should always do, is automate all your bills. So you don't have to think about it. They're just being paid. And so you would never go into arrears with those. You'd never go into debt with your automation of your debt, of your bills. Things that you have to pay for. Your rent or your mortgage, your gas, your light, your internet, your phones, whatever. I mean, I've got two phones, so that's why I say phones. But your phone, your council tax, those bills. Okay. And I've even got my Netflix on automation, and I've got Amazon Prime. But I'm thinking, if I really wanted to be Miss Scrooge, and I don't believe in all of that. I don't believe in being Miss Scrooge. I believe you should still live your life, but be able to do it. And I still live beneath my means, and this is why I could quite easily take out the personal spend. But where's the fun in that? Where's the fun in that? I like to have a little bit of say to say that I don't feel like I'm living on, as Dave Ramsey would say, living on rice and beans. I don't want to go down that road. There's different ways of doing it. Some people would do that. I mean, there's the zero. I'm doing zero based budgeting, but some people do the 70, you know, what is it? The 50, 30, 20 budgeting where you got 50% is should be allocated to your bills, 30% is to your wants, and 20% is your savings. Okay, so you've got 50% your needs, 30% your wants, 20% your actual savings. And then there is, I don't know if you've heard of this one, but there's the 70. What is it? 70, 20, 10. The 70 is what they just call spending. They call it spending. So whatever you're going to spend comes out of that 70%. So that's spending. And then the 20% is your wants. No, the 20% is savings. Okay. And then the 10% is what you throw towards debt. Or you can model it whichever way you want. But 10% towards debt, 20% towards your saving, 70% is your spending, including your personal spending, your shopping, your expenses, what you spend, basically. So I didn't want, I thought this was going to be a short video, but it's going into the longness. But let me know in the comments if you'd like me to go into depth into these certain things, different types of budgets, because zero budgeting explains itself. You have a certain amount where you can see up the top there. For me, for example, is £680 and 68 pence. That's what I had this month. Okay, this beginning of this month, because I do monthly, I don't do weekly. So this is what I'm thinking. I do a weekly check-in because things are not going to change week by week, but maybe every 2 weeks, that would make a difference. So this is why I'm doing this now. But I say all that to say, people, zero based budgeting means you start off with £680 and you allocate it to its zero. And so that's what you live on for the month. Some people can do it bi-weekly. I do it on a monthly basis. This is what I'm living on. 60, I've paid my bills. So all my bills are gone. So that is not part of the sinking funds. The sinking funds is just that things you save, things you spend, things you want to put money towards, basically. And this is my list. So, if I don't use the Christmas money, for example, see, I've given myself targets for some and not. So if you look at the target column, okay, some of these have got targets that some of them haven't. The reason I didn't put a target from that one, for example, is because that's an ongoing thing. Okay, I will spend it and start again. Do you know what I mean? It's going to be spent. The investment one is going to be an accumulator, and this is what I would like to do with this my financial year. 600 goes into that, so I started at the 50 mark. Although I do have other savings, but I'm not counting that in here because I'm starting. So, if you wanted to start with me, I'm on the next month will be the second month of doing this because it's £50 a month. So I'm gonna stop it now. But I say all that to say, okay, what would you do in this dilemma? Would you take your emergency fund and just pay off that card so you don't incur extra debt? Okay, because they're talking about raising it on the 30th of July to almost 40% interest for this one card. And I'm like, I didn't even know it was that high to begin with. But what I'm doing, if I do use my cards, I pay them off straight away. I've gotten into the habit, whereas what got me in debt in the first place was credit cards. And I've stopped doing that. I paid them all off. If you want to hear about that little journey, let me know. But I paid them off. I paid them off. I was zero up until 3 weeks ago, where this little saga started with the debt. And I don't like the debt. I don't like debt. That's another subject that we could be talking about. But how we can get out of debt. But I went for a whole thing. I started off with the Dave Ramsey things, but I realised there was gaps in it. So even before you get to baby step one, which is accumulate £1,000 for emergency fund, which I still haven't done because I don't agree with some of the things he's doing. Live on rice and beans, no. No, I eat rice and beans as it is. I don't want to be living on that, no. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm vegan. But there's things you can do before that, like reducing your bills to actually access more money. That is one big way. You can sell stuff. You can. There's all sorts of ways which we can discuss. And that's another thing that to accumulate that thing, and you don't have to do it all at once. You can do it like I've done it. Was automate it. I've automated my emergency fund. Once I get to £1,000, that's all right for me because I don't have a car. Do you know? I used to, but cars is like having a second mortgage, and I live in a city where I don't need to be driving a car. It's more convenient to get on a bus or a tram or a train than it is to actually drive a car where I live. And it's the same in London, I perceive. That is my opinion. So, as you can see with these targets, but some of them have targets, some of them don't. And so, that's the way I do it. But there's so many different ways of budget, so maybe we could talk about it. Let me know if you're interested. And I'm going to put these digital ones out there. I don't know if I put the first one out there because I've put it on my Patreon. If you didn't know, I do Patreon, and I'm doing investment club, book club, and budgeting club. Okay, and if you're interested in my portfolio, if you're interested in investing and what I'm investing in, come and join me in the investment club where we're going to all learn together. I mean, I've done it. I did it a long time ago. I did invest in a long time ago, but I just did it as a managed fund where it was chucked into different companies, and that was it. And COVID came, and I used the money, and I made a lot of money just letting it sit there. But I think it's more fun to have the dividends, and so. But I'm learning just like everybody else. So come along and see what my portfolio is doing, what we're talking about. We could get into discussions, have lives, talk about the actual state of the economy, all sorts of nonsense. That stuff is what I'm into right now. Okay, so budgeting is I'm just showing you how I do my budget. We could talk about budgeting, different types of budgeting, what I do to actually budget, and that's another conversation. What I do to budget. So as you can see, there's the odd videos come out with my shopping, me experimenting basically, because I can do that because I can swap my budget. I can actually show that. But let me know if you're interested in any of that. Come and join me over on Patreon, and we can really get down and dirty. And it'd be nice to know what you're interested in. I'm interested in books, so I read books, but the books I'm reading on my Patreon is all about helping you to be more productive, to make more money. I'm talking about let's make money, people. That's what I'm on. That's what I'm on. And yes, I do have money. I have to say I do have money, but who's to say that you can't make more? And if you can do it with passive investment like stocks and shares, because let's face it, if it's passive money. You make that money while you're sleeping, but to actually you have to invest to accumulate, don't you? Anyway, more of that. This is about budgeting. This is me checking in and letting you what I want, let you know what is really wanted. And so till next time, take care, people. And I didn't mean for it to go on this long, but I say all that to say the budget hasn't changed apart from me actually buying the extra shares. Okay, and that's it really. Apart from that, this week, what am I doing? I'm going out with my girlfriends. I'm going to spend a couple of days in a specific place. I don't know if I'm going to record it. I'm going to try and record some of it maybe, but that's what I'll be doing. Anyway, I'll catch up with you people till next time. Don't forget to like, comment, share, show your appreciation, get that way to get down. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the alert bell so you know when I'm going to do another video. So until next time, take care.